The set was blithely lit, polished, and anxiously managed. Much like the show's acceptability cameras, swept beyond the glassy Washington, D.C. flat of all-around Crossroads, are affairs accepted for acclamation circuitous all-embracing issues. The advertisement was live. The console featured a calendar of admired bread and butter and political analysts. But the spotlight was on Karoline Leavitt, seated confidently at the centermost appropriate of the crescent-shaped table. She looked composed, aperture hardly pursed cat and mouse for her. Cue. The host or adept announcer with decades of counterbalanced advertisement abaft him angry to the accumulation let's allocution about US-Canada relations in today's all-around altitude he began abnormally because the contempo animation in all-around markets what appliance does this crosser accord still authority Karoline didn't abeyance to be honest she said with a slight cackle we're romanticizing this accord Canada's been. Benumbed on America's drive for years they allocution a lot but back. It comes to administration edition a like aggressive assurance they tend to break in the background. Her words addled sharply. The host aloft his eyebrows. One pain list visibly confused in discomfort. But Karoline remained composed, her accent cool and pointed. Let's be honest. Canada's an admirable country. Great maple syrup. Cute wildlife. But in agreement of all-around clout, they're the little affinity abaft while the grown-ups handle the abundant lifting. Economically, culturally, politically, America leads Canada follows the alive augment alteration to mark Carney actualization from a minimalist appointment in City Toronto. His easily were clasped. His announcement unreadable. Social media was already ablaze. Clips were overextension rapidly. Some American admirers accepted Leavitt's boldness. But many, abnormally Canadians, watched in abashed disbelief. Carney waited a moment before speaking. His accent was calm and deliberate. A side smile basic the affectionate that signals or acknowledgement able-bodied prepared. He adapted his tie and leaned in hardly against the camera. Well, he began calmly as addition who has brash governments and counterbalanced economies in both Canada and the UK. I accept I can allege to added than aloof maple abstract and moose. A low babble swept through the studio. Leavitt straightened her announcement sharpening. Carney connected afterwards pause. Canada didn't take a cyberbanking collapse in 2008. We didn't crave bailouts or abundance dollar rescues. That's because we adapt carefully, not through televised shouting matches. Leavitt leaned into her mix scoffing. So now you're claiming you're smarter because you're smaller. Carney offered the affectionate of smile that carries finality. No, Miss Leavitt, I'm adage our intelligence and ability aren't authentic by ad measurement and we don't aberration aggregate for leadership. His commitment was abiding and exact. We rank in the all-around top 10 for education, innovation, healthcare, and governance. Not because we advertise it loudly, but because we do the assignment quietly, consistently, and afterwards abbreviating our allies. The allowance fell still. The host seemed broken amid effective the altercation advanced and absolution it comedy out. For the aboriginal time, Leavitt appeared unsettled. Her smile had disappeared. Carney leaned back hardly and concluded, Canada may not shout, but we are respected. And respect, clashing noise, charge be earned. The awning flickered, acid aback to the host, his face of study. An assertive discomfort, he nodded slowly, hesitated, and a fresh cut to commercial. But the impulse was actual and irreversible afore the advertisement had absolutely ended. The agenda storm had amorphous oral minutes. Clips of Leavitt's jab and Carney's composed acknowledgement were all over X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. The hash Natch and Khan claps back surged to the top of all-around trends anon abutting by Natche Canada active and quiet strength. Canadian account outlets about aloof played the articulation with about buried pride. CBC ran with the headline, Carney crushes the calm assemblage beyond the bound in Ottawa. Politicians from all abandon responded. Jag me tat sing alleged Leavitt's comments. Ignorant bourgeois MP Pierre Pav usually quick to appraisal advanced media artlessly tweeted account charge be alternate Canada isn't a punchline south of the bound reactions were split. Fox account commended Leavitt for her truffling and offered her a after-effect appearance. MSNBC in adverse declared the barter as a masterclass in address against performative backroom never appetite to retreat. Leavitt responded the abutting morning via Instagram alive draped in a bandage featuring the American flag. Leaning into the camera, she declared, I said what abounding Americans already know, Canada allowances from us, And now I'm actuality attacked for actuality honest. That's not diplomacy, that's denial. But the acknowledgement wasn't overwhelmingly supportive. Thousands of comments abounding from Canadians, but additionally Americans criticizing what they alleged a needlessly aloof performance. A accepted animadversion read, "Karoline actuality loud doesn't accomplish you right. Watch cars blow again." That's intelligence. Abaft bankrupt doors, analysts of all-embracing relations aloft concerns. Some U.S. barter assembly agilely accepted the viral moment could complicate. Advancing discussions. The Department of State bound issued a abrupt disclaimer. Views bidding by clandestine citizens do not reflect official U.S. adopted policy. Meanwhile, in Toronto, Carney backward silent. No tweets, no columnist conferences, and that blackout some said Batten volumes are anniversary past. The media aberration called abrogation abaft anticipate pieces acknowledgement videos and memes afresh about unnoticed. Carney appeared on the accepted or acclaimed CBC radio appearance, the host acquainted of the all-embracing attention. Gently approached the affair I accept to ask, she said with an abstinent accent afterwards aggregate that's happened. Do you accept any final thoughts on Karoline Leavitt's remarks? Carney smiled, not smuggily, but with the accord of addition who understands the weight of words. He confused in his bench and responded with statesman-like poise. Miss Leavitt reflects an accurate cast of politics, and she's advantage to her perspective. But as I've said before, chargeless accent carries responsibility, abnormally aback speaking as an adumbrative voice. Or in advance of those who do, he paused, absolution the bulletin settle. We don't acknowledge with abuse because we are ashore in confidence. Canada isn't flawless, but we've congenital article durable, stable, compassionate, and lasting. Will consistently amount absorption over the host nodded visibly moved. Carney added softly, but durably amenity isn't weakness, it's discipline, and in a time bedeviled by noise, quiet backbone stands out. The affairs concluded, the audio faded, and already again, Mark Carney had managed to say added in a few words than a week's account of headlines. Karoline Leavitt had aimed to activity controversy. Carney had delivered an all-around assignment in address and absolved abroad with dignity, civic pride, and the final.